I've decided to do some videos regarding growing up in on a narcissistic, dysfunctional, substance abuse background. It doesn't really matter. This narcissism. At one time, when someone was displaying these traits, you'd just be called, basically, you could call them a jerk, an a-hole, whatever. Now they're a narcissist. I don't think it really matters what you call them. It's what they do and how it affects you that really matters. So what I'm going to be doing is taking a particular topic. I might be kind of going here and there because I don't do a script. Taking a topic, breaking it down, and explaining what's behind it and what to do with it. And the thing is, I listen to lots of narcissism videos. Some of them are good, some not so good. The thing that I want to get away from, I can't formally diagnose anyone as a narcissist, because really a doctor has to do that. But does it really matter? I mean, if a person is doing certain things to you and it's affecting you in a certain way, and it's over a period of time and it's consistent, consistently dysfunctional, I don't think it really matters what label you put on it, because it's not good for you. So it doesn't. To me, it doesn't matter. We'll just say narcissism, because most of the traits that they have. And then the other thing is, just to say up front, that mine is going to have I want to say religious, but a Christian slant to it, because I'm a believer. So some of my concepts are not going to be the same as a psychological perspective. For instance, I've heard it said that narcissists have poor self-esteem. I don't buy that. Based on my family of origin, my dad died when he was 52. My mom is still alive. Over the years, and this is like a long time, I can't say that this low self-esteem is true. I think it's a poor excuse. It's more like evil to me, really. Especially if you're a Christian, the devil will use people to hurt you. I've had that experience my whole life. It's the battle of good against evil, how it's played out, and a lot of times people are the ones that it's played out with. So I don't buy it that narcissists have poor self-image and hurt people. Not necessarily. Actually, sometimes hurt people actually help people because they know what it's like to be hurt. So I don't think that's true that hurt people, not necessarily. And I think this self-esteem thing and saying that narcissists have poor self-esteem, I think that's just a cover-up. It's just an excuse trying to justify this. I say it's ego. It's ego. It's ego as in overblown ego, which is not a lack of self-esteem. It's an overblown ego, sense of entitlement, someone wanting to win at someone else's expense, in some ways kind of sadistic. Someone gains pleasure out of hurting someone. Someone steps on someone and it makes them feel better, kind of thing. I attribute that more to evil than anything else. Anyways, so on this particular video, I want to focus on the two dynamics of the scapegoat and the golden child. I'm only doing those two because to me those are the two main players. If you have more than two kids in a family, you might have other ones like the lost child, the clown, whatever. But I'm just going to focus on the scapegoat and the golden child. And some examples from my own life. I obviously am a scapegoat. My sister, who is 10 years older than me, is the golden child. So what is really behind this, and this goes for narcissistic households, also households where one or both parents are alcoholics, drug addicts. My dad was a drinker. I don't know, I think my dad had some psychopathic tendencies. My mom, I think, is definitely a narcissist. Anyways, so what's really behind this golden child scapegoat dynamic? I think it really has very little to do with who you are. I think it's basically the parents are delegating you to this role more so that it suits their purposes. I think it has little to do with you. The reason I say that is because the role, if you break it down logically, doesn't make any sense. Because you take two kids, one is a scapegoat, one is a golden child. The scapegoat, no matter what they do, they're always wrong, they're always bad. The golden child, no matter what they do, they're always good, they're always right. That's an impossibility. Because children, the human nature is fallen. All children, even little children, will have temper tantrums. Children will lie. Children will tattletale. There's no child on the face of the earth that is perfect. And the golden child is perfect and never does anything wrong. Well, that's baloney, because it's impossible. You know, some people are better than others in the sense they behave better, but they still have flaws. There's no such thing as anyone being perfect. So it's an impossibility for the golden child to actually be perfect and never do anything wrong. So based on that, it's kind of obvious that that role of golden child is not based on that person per se. It is more based on that it fits the needs or the purposes of the parent putting them in that position. And the same thing goes for the scapegoat. There is no such thing as a child that is all bad and never does anything right. So this is the flip side, total opposite of the golden child. That also is an impossibility. Because even if, let's say, I personally wasn't a bratty kid, and I'll get more into that, but some kids are bratty, they still do some good things. They're not totally bad. So it's not possible. So that too is not based in reality. See, that's the thing, these two roles, they're not based in reality. That's the thing. They're not based in reality, and they're not based on who you are as a person. What they are based on is the parents that want to put the kids in that role. And the reason they want to put the kids in that role is to suit their purposes. It's got more to do with the parents than it does with the kids. So, this is my theory on this. And I come to this conclusion after years and years and years and years of analyzing this and going over things in my mind and trying to make sense of things. This is what I think. As you well know, these narcissists and their psychopaths, they take responsibility for nothing. And this is referring for the scapegoat role I'm talking about first. They take responsibility for absolutely nothing. For instance, my dad's been dead for a long time. Like I say, he died when he was 52. I don't really remember him saying sorry a lot. I think he did maybe once. I don't know. I don't really remember. But he wasn't a very nice person. But with my mom, for sure, definitely 100% sure, my mom has never said sorry for anything in her entire life that I've known her. Never. Even if she's been proven to be wrong. Okay, so this is the basis here. The narcissist and her psychopath does not admit fault, does not take personal responsibility for anything. So, because they don't take personal responsibility for anything, and because they never ever admit fault, then who are they going to pin things on to excuse and or justify their behavior? or when things go wrong, who are they going to use to blame? Since they never self-reflect as in what they're doing wrong. It's never their fault. You see? That's why they need a scapegoat. Because they need somewhere to unload their responsibility. They need somewhere to point the finger to blame, to put the blame on somebody else. So they don't have to take responsibility. So they don't have to look at themselves. They need someone to blame so they don't have to ever say they're sorry. They need someone to blame so they don't have to admit they're wrong, that they're not perfect. You see? Because they have this overblown ego where they think they're perfect. So on that stance that they take, that they think they're perfect and they never make a mistake and they're never wrong, then by default someone else has to be wrong. You see? Someone else has to be the cause of their problems. That's where the scapegoat comes in. I really believe that's the only reason a person is chosen to be a scapegoat. And I don't know why they pick one against the other. The only thing I could say is, based on my own family of origin, I would be the one more likely to point things out, as in if something is wrong. I would be the designated the truth teller. And I would say that would piss the narcissist off, because you are pointing out reality to them that they don't want to see, or they don't want you to see, or other people to see. You're pointing out something that they do wrong, and because they never make mistakes, and they never do anything wrong, then they're basically going to hate you for that. So I think that's what it is you pose by telling the truth, and by seeing what others either refuse to see or don't want to see, you expose them to a certain extent. And that probably pisses them off and threatens them, makes them feel threatened. So basically they have to dump all their garbage on you to make it look like you're the problem. So it's kind of like, I forget what's that word, I don't know what that word, I'm just trying to think of a word. It's basically distraction, as in they want the focus to be on the scapegoat, as in what's wrong with the scapegoat. The scapegoat is the problem. The scapegoat causes all the problems. The scapegoat is the instigator. So that way, it deflects off of the narcissist onto the scapegoat. That's basically all it is. Scapegoat only serves a purpose where the family can dump all their negative garbage onto, so they don't have to deal with it, so they don't have to be responsible for any of it. They don't have to change anything about themselves, because of course the narcissist is perfect, or so they think, so they're not going to change how they think or their behavior. So that's basically my theory on why they need for the scapegoat. And it's got nothing to do with that person, other than perhaps they speak out, maybe they're not so compliant, and they're a truth teller, and because of that they're a threat to the system, dysfunctional family system. So they need to be singled out, ostracized, blamed, and that sort of thing. Okay, so the flip side of this, the golden child. Why do they need a golden child? Okay, since no one is perfect, so the golden child doesn't deserve all that they get, the goodies they get and everything, because they're no better than scapegoat in reality. But the parents treat them like they're like golden child, like gold. Put them on the pedestal. I would say the reason for that is the flip side of the scapegoat. The golden child serves to build up the narcissist ego, as in, look at me, what a great parent I have this wonderful kid. Let's say the kid excels academically, perhaps sports, who knows, whatever, or they're perfectly behaved, never talk back, whatever it is. So I would say that's, in a way, I guess the narcissist parent would use the golden child kind of as a cover-up for them, to cover up their flaws as a parent, because they're using this golden child as an extension of them, as a reflection that they're a good parent. And because they think they're a good parent, the golden child is an example of that. But yet they fail to take into consideration that they also have another child that's a scapegoat. And that seems really strange, to have two kids that are complete polar opposites. I guess it can be true with regarding personality, but they go to extremes. See, scapegoating and the golden child, it's extreme. It's not normal differences. It's extreme polarity. So that's what I think with that. The dysfunctional family, the golden child serves a purpose to basically cover up what's wrong with the family, because you could say, oh yeah, look at my kid here, she's so wonderful, he's so wonderful. And it builds their ego, basically. Gives them something to brag about, because narcissists like to brag, a lot of them do, and show how good they are. Yeah. But none of it's based in reality. So let's go to reality now. If you're pegged as a scapegoat, I need to realize, because that's basically who my message is going to be directed to, because that's the role I'm in. So if you're the scapegoat, you need to basically come to the realization that this pigeonholing has more to do with the parent doing the pigeonholing than it has to do with who you are. They're using you, designating you as a scapegoat to serve their own needs. Has nothing to do with you. And to realize that it's an impossibility for you to be all bad like they say. And a lot of it doesn't make sense. I'm going to go, maybe I'll do a separate video, because videos tend to be long, so I'll do a separate video breaking down the scapegoat and the golden child. Well, I'm obviously not one, but some stuff that I observe and other stuff. So I don't know, with the scapegoat, you just have to come to the conclusion that your parents are full of crap. They did this to serve their own purposes. They used you as a pawn. It's not who you are, and you have to throw it off, as in that identity. Not identify yourself as a scapegoat or a victim, because that isn't going to help you. You need to overcome this, because what it is, it's evil. It's like someone wanting to destroy you. That's what it really is. And it doesn't stop, when you get older. I have to do more videos on that. Like, once you're 18, they don't stop this nonsense. This goes on and on and on. I mean, I've had to go no contact with my mom. My dad's dead, so that solved itself. But I have to go no contact with my mom. It's caused me a lot of trouble all these years. And even now, like, the last time she called was like a couple of years or something, maybe 3 years. And all of a sudden she calls. So it's like it doesn't end until they're gone. And she's very, she's old. Like, I'm trying to think now. Birthday's in February, so born in 1934. So you figure that out. That's, I think, 85. And she's still living independently in her house. I don't know. So I'm getting really sick of it. I don't want nothing more to do with it, because I don't want to waste my whole life on this. That's the thing too. When you yourself, if you're the scapegoat, and you're getting, I don't say I'm old, I don't feel old, but when you're getting older, and then you're thinking, well, geez, when is this going to end? It's never going to end. And just don't want to put up with it anymore. I put up with years and years. I should have just cut it off a long time ago. If I knew what I know now, then I would have cut it off a long time ago. When I was 18, I would have just hightailed it out of there and never looked back. But unfortunately, I didn't, so live and learn. So other people can benefit from my experience. So anyways, that's about all I have to say regarding the scapegoat and the golden child. It's got nothing to do with who you are. It's not why were you targeted. It's that these roles, just look at it as an impersonal role, because that's what it is. These roles and or labels are put on the child, and they're more to serve the purposes of the parent, the dysfunctional parent. It's for their own use and benefit, not for yours, obviously. And it's not based in reality, because I could explain more in another video, but I wasn't a bad kid. I wasn't a delinquent or anything like that. And my sister wasn't perfect, you see, so it just doesn't make any sense. That's very damaging. Like, if you take it and internalize it, it's very damaging, because you always feel like you're not good enough. No matter what you do is not enough. And anyway, so I'm going to do another video on the dynamics between the scapegoat and the golden child, and how they set up for things like competing, sibling, the rivalry. I should make note, I guess, this dynamic basically fragments the family. There's no unity. There's no real loyalty. The family may consider itself loyal and close-knit, but it's not. In reality, other than my sister is 10 years older, which there's a gap there. But you know what? That really shouldn't matter a whole lot, because I have a husband that's 9 years older than me. So I don't think it's just age. I think it's more that if you got the scapegoat and the golden child, that you're pitted against one another. So no relationship, no bond really forms. And sibling rivalry, I guess a little bit is normal, but this goes to the extreme. So in my case, I never really had a relationship with my sister, and I still don't. I've tried too many times, but she's not receptive. She basically wants to blame the upbringing, but you know what? She's an adult now. She can choose to overcome that, but she doesn't want to. I think the real reason is because she doesn't want to lose her favored position. That's what I think. And I think she herself is somewhat of a narcissist. She has no empathy. And I'll go into that later, but no, a lot of times the relationship, it's not there. You just can't. Because the golden child thinks they're better than the scapegoat, and is always trying to prove that. And the scapegoat resents the golden child because they're favored and they get everything handed to them on a silver platter. And it's just not fair. So that's going to have to be another video to go through that. But yeah, there's no relationship there. How can you have a healthy sibling bond when you're pitted against one another, and how you're treated is so unfair? It's like total, almost polar opposites. So that does affect the relationship, as in usually there is no relationship, unless when you grow up you want to overcome that and heal the relationship. But you know, like in my case, my sister, the golden child, she doesn't want to. And in fact, this is kind of funny. I can prove that I'm the scapegoat, my sister's the golden child, and yet when I've talked to her about this, she thinks she's the scapegoat. Isn't that funny? So totally invalidate your experience. And in fact, not too long ago I mentioned, because I want to get some clarification on some things in the past that happened that I was quite young, so I don't remember totally. I wanted to confirm. And I basically told my sister that, I wasn't treated fairly in the family, and I wasn't. That's reality. And you know what? She had the nerve to say that I was treated fairly, that things were fair, considering that she's the golden child and I'm the scapegoat. And you know what's funny is that's the same thing, because my mom recently was bothering me again, and I also was bringing up stuff to her to confront her. And, my mom said the same thing, that things were fair. The only difference is that because of our age difference, we wouldn't get things at the same time, which is a lie. I'll go into that later. But anyways, yeah, so my mom said that things were fair. invalidating me. And my sister said the same thing. So isn't that funny? Isn't that a coincidence? So yeah, so that's basically it for this, without going on and on. You're pegged in this role of a scapegoat, not based on who you are, but based on how that role serves the narcissist, because they need someone to dump on, to blame shift, and to use as an excuse for everything that goes wrong and all the things that they do that are wrong, that are bad. And on the flip side, they need the golden child to build up their ego, to make them look good, to act as basically like a cover-up, to make the family look better than what it is. So that's both sides, and what purpose it serves. And it serves the purpose of what the narcissist needs, how it makes them look. One makes them look good. The other one is an excuse for everything that's wrong that they can dump the blame on. That's basically it. Is really is that simple. That's the conclusion I've come to anyways, because nothing else makes any sense. So for that would be it for this video. And I'll be making some more, going through more of the dynamics and that in greater detail. Thank you for listening. Bye.